All right, so this is vlog number, I think either 6 or 7. But I think that it's important to show this part of it because I kind of only documented the successes before and not the difficulties. And that's all good and well, but I think what's much more helpful is sharing the difficulty along the way of trying to build a successful business and understanding that's kind of part of it and that's kind of the most influential part of it, where if you can overcome that you can kind of go through most parts of the business just fine and be able to build without any fears, any difficulties, because I think that's the key thing that most people don't overcome. That's why like 90% of businesses fail, because if you knew that you could succeed, if you knew that you'd be able to build it, then you would do just fine and you'd be working on it till the end of your days because you'd know truly in your heart that you would get the money and it would be worth it. But what stops most people is that they don't know that and they don't believe that, and eventually doubt creeps in and they stop. So the main point that I want to talk about today is that it is week 4, day 6 of me trying to build a business in the real estate niche. And today, I've kind of realized that over the holidays, I'm coming off of Thanksgiving and Black Friday and relaxed with my family for a while, which is a very good thing, but it takes away from that like grind mentality, which it sounds a little cringy, but the grind mentality of, oh, I need to get this done, have your days being very structured and very sound and being able to achieve a very routine life. That takes a little bit away from it, and it's well worth taking away from it. But getting back into that groove is incredibly difficult. And I've realized it's week for day 6, and I've not really achieved that much within the business. I've gotten through week 1 of the course, and then after that, that's when I started focusing specifically on getting as many interviews as possible for the business to understand the market, to be able to fit a product around what people truly need and want and will pay thousands of dollars for, which I found what that problem is and what that main pain point is. And I've done 6 interviews with that current avatar, and I'm planning on probably doing 44 more interviews, and those first interviews are the hardest for anyone who wants to build a business and interview people before starting it, because that's probably the best way to go about it. But I'm getting the interviews pretty easily now, but I felt kind of detached from them and like I'm not getting that much bang for my buck, because the first few interviews you can kind of just like are they're incredibly influential and give you a perfect picture of how things are. But the more interviews you do, unless you change the way that you look at them, they seem incredibly pointless because you know what that pain point is, and it's just kind of confirming it again and again and again. And what those interviews past that point do is it simply gives you a better subconscious understanding of what that avatar is truly like when you're going to be talking to them and selling to them in the future. So you're not going to find some crazy unique pain point after having the calls and figuring out what that pain point that almost every single one of your avatar is, but you will get kind of a nice and natural feeling when you come into contact with those people on the future sales calls, because you know what they're like, you know a bunch of people like them, so it's just more natural. That's a little bit of a side ramble, but the main point of this is that I've realized I haven't accomplished that much. I've gotten a few interviews, I've done tons and tons of research on the business that I want to build, but I kind of stopped progressing in Charlie Morgan's course because I wanted to specifically focus on the interviews more. And overall, I think I've gradually just moved back instead of moved forward where I want to be. And today was kind of my realization of, fuck, I need to lock in more, which is a really scary realization. And I thought, like, is this really the model I want to do? Is this really the way that I want to go? And I thought to myself, and I'm not really that excited about it. I'm not. But that's just kind of removes the novelty of it. And this is really just the time where you decide, is it worth it or not? Because I've been working on it for about a month, have not gotten many results. I think a lot of people will share that same experience because the weeks, probably 3 to 5, are when the novelty wears off. You're no longer in like the dopamine state of, oh, this is fantastic. Or maybe for some people you don't relate to that, but I think a lot of people will. And this is just kind of where you decide, do I really want this? And I do really want this, but I've also thought that I want something where it's incredibly long term, and I know the upside is incredible and it's the highest leverage possible. So I've realized the current business that I've chosen, well, not that I've chosen, but the avatar I've chosen of agents and brokers in the real estate niche are not like the people I want to work with long term. They're simply a stepping stone to be able to get to investors eventually. That's not to say I don't love working with the people and are happy to make deals with them, but they're not the people that are going to be paying eventually tens of millions down the road of yearly income because they simply don't have it at their disposal. It's going to be like 100 to maybe 500,000 per month to be able to actually have as gross commission income yearly, and only a few thousand of that, maybe 10,000 of that, they can spend on making their business better because they just have a life to live. So that was a realization that hit, and you can tell I'm rambling right now because it's like a thought process of like this, and you're like, when you're thinking about quitting, you have all the different possibilities ahead of you, and it's just, you need clarity on one thing and you need pure focus on one thing for it to make it work. So the advice I'd have for most people is just voice your worries to ChatGPT. It sounds incredibly stupid, but voice your worries and it'll probably help clear things up. It helped very much for me. It was able to kind of just give me a path forward and just give me the clarity that I needed to keep going and the tasks that I need to do to be able to keep going. So yeah, I know I've been rambling a lot, but the whole point of this is just to share the difficult path that y'all have chosen if you're trying to start a business, and that you're not alone. Everyone feels it, and that's why most people aren't able to be successful with it, because they quit whenever the doubt creeps in, whenever you just don't really feel the novelty of it anymore. And my advice to all of you would be to just understand what that feeling is like, understand why you're feeling it, and truly just like journal about it. Like if there's a specific point that's getting with you, either talk to some sort of AI to work it out, or it's probably a lot better to do this with an actual good friend. But I think the AI solution is also very good, so it's just whatever you choose. But yeah, just like, if you are able to, I'm speaking like I've built a successful business, but I think if you're able to overcome this doubt and overcome this fear and truly gain clarity in the point where it's not very clear, from that point forward, it'll be easier than how it feels at the point of possible failure. And that's a very long-winded to say, just don't give up. But yeah, that's the whole point of this. It's week 4, day 6. I'll probably check in when a significant point happens. And I thought of just only sharing when things are good and I have something influential to share. But I was probably going to check in when I've done like completed 20 interviews. But I think this is important to share too. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, hopefully best of luck to all of y'all who are trying to do the same thing.